Today's lesson is called The Wonderful World of Marsupials. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
I'm Roger, and again, we are talking about marsupials. Those are animals that have pockets. They're a kind of mammal, and they're mostly common in Australia, but, we find them in other parts of the world. And the most common kind of marsupial, of course, is the kangaroo. There are wallabies down there in Australia as well, but there are other species, and we mentioned some of them last time. We talked about quokkas and wombats, and there's also something called bilbies. They sound cute. The names themselves sound so cute that I can't wait to talk about them.
Yeah, folks, the name of the game today, once again, is marsupials. Now, we mentioned this on day one. When people think of marsupials, they think of kangaroos and koalas, and they think of Australia. And I would say probably the number one marsupial is the kangaroo. Okay, if people think of marsupials, the first thing that comes to mind is the kangaroo. But get this, in Australia, the kangaroo is not the most famous marsupial. In fact, people in Australia sometimes find kangaroos to be a nuisance. Yeah, sometimes people in Australia say, hey, there are too many kangaroos and they're a big pain in the neck. Not unlike deer in North America. If you live in a place in North America where there are deer, you don't think of these deers, or these deer, I should say, as being Bambi, beautiful creatures that are gentle and wonderful. You think of them as being these nuisances that go through your garbage. And apparently, the same thing goes for kangaroos in Australia. Kangaroos are more popular outside of Australia than inside Australia. We'll learn later, actually, that the most popular marsupial is probably the bilby and not the kangaroo or the koala or anything like that. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be back with more right after this.
Numbats, which resemble tiny anteaters, are on the brink of going extinct. Fewer than 1,000 of them are left. They have sticky tongues that measure about 10 centimeters long and are extended into leaf piles, cracks in logs, and holes in the earth to find termites. Since numbats swallow the termites in one gulp, they have smooth, peg-like teeth instead of functional ones. In total, they eat as many as 20,000 termites a day. Imagine what that would look like on a plate.
各位好，第一部分我们看到一个片语 on the brink of 代表即将点点点或在点点点的边缘。例如 In the next chapter of the book, we will catch up with Sammy on the brink of her new journey to the West. 在书的下一个章节中，我们会讨论 Sammy 即将展开西方的新旅程。又或者说 This building is on the brink of collapsing, so it isn't safe to enter. 这栋建筑物在倒塌的边缘了，所以进去里面并不安全。另外，补充与 on the brink of 同义的片语 on the verge 或是 on the edge of 加名词或动词 ing。举例来说 After years of hard work, Jason's company was finally on the verge of or on the edge of success. 经过几年来的努力打拼 Jason 的公司终于快要成功了。接着我们看到名词 gulp 指一大口吞咽的分量，像是 You shouldn't gulp down your food because it's not healthy to eat so fast. 你不应该大口吞咽食物，因为吃太快对身体不健康。另外，常常使用片语 swallow something in one gulp 来表示一口吞下点点点。所以可以说 The tiger swallowed a whole chicken in one gulp. 老虎一口吞下一整只鸡。
Okay, today we're going to talk about another kind of marsupial in Australia called the wombat, which resembles tiny anteaters. So again, here's this first sentence. It says, Numbats, which resemble tiny anteaters, are on the brink of going extinct. I could also say they're on the brink of extinction. That's the noun here. Extinct is the adjective. Since I'm on this word here, I'll explain it. Extinct means these animals no longer exist. There are lots of species of animals that no longer exist. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs marsupials went extinct millions of years ago. But, of course, there are other animals going extinct right under our noses now. I think the great dodo bird is extinct. And, of course, lots of other animals are going extinct, or they're going to be facing extinction soon.
Yes, apparently non-bats, they're kind of on the hook for extinction here. Well, they're not quite extinct yet, but they are close to extinction. And that's what this phrase, on the brink of, means. It means close to. Yeah, the brink of something, by the way, is the point at which something is about to happen or is really close to happening. So if you're on the brink of something, you're really close to that thing occurring or happening. And there's one other thing in this sentence we need to talk about, the word resemble. To resemble means to look very much like someone else or something else.
Like, for example, lots of people say Taipei 101 resembles a bunch of Chinese fans stacked on top of each other. I didn't see that myself, but I heard people say that they think that that is the case. Or sometimes you might hear someone say, oh, I resemble my brother, or I resemble my mother. I look more like my mother than I do my dad. But let's get back to non-bats here. They kind of resemble tiny anteaters. Those, of course, are animals that eat ants with the big long noses. And they seem to be going extinct, or they will soon unless something is done. It says here, fewer than 1,000 of them are left. That's not very many. And let's describe them here. It says they have sticky tongues that measure about 10 centimeters long and are extended into leaf piles, cracks in logs, and holes in the earth to find termites. Our tongues aren't particularly sticky, but the tongues of the non-bats are pretty sticky, which means if something touches it, it's going to stay there. That's why we call these things stickers, little pieces of paper with kind of glue on the back, because they're sticky. They will stick to something, so their tongues will stick to, I guess, ants when they stick them into piles of leaves, and they can also stick them into cracks in logs. A crack is kind of like a small opening, right?
There you go. A crack is kind of like a small break in something. A crack is a small break in something. And usually when we're talking about a crack, we're talking about a specific type of break, okay? Let's say you see a crack in the sidewalk. The sidewalk is broken, and it's broken along a line. That break actually looks like a line. That would be a crack. Anyways, yeah, cracks for the most part are small breaks on the surface of something that kind of look like lines in that thing. So these logs are slightly broken, there's a crack, and somehow the non-bat is able to get that sticky tongue in there and eat termites. And by the way, this does resemble how anteaters do eat ants. They also stick their tongue into anthills and stuff like that, and out come the ants on that sticky tongue. But here, they're not eating ants, they're eating termites, which are kind of like ants, but these are insects that burrow into wood and eat wood and stuff like that. But yeah, they kind of do look like ants. Anyways, moving on, the next sentence says, since non-bats swallow the termites in one gulp, they have smooth, pig-like teeth instead of functional ones. Well, they don't really need those teeth, so we're not calling them functional teeth. We're saying they're not functional teeth, but they don't need them, okay? So I don't know how this word functional comes into play, but for us, yes, if we had smooth, pig-like teeth instead of the ones that we have, our teeth wouldn't function, they wouldn't work. We couldn't call them functional teeth. And yeah, usually the word functional means working. Yeah, if something is functional, it works. It has a practical use. It's usable. Okay, but here we're saying, oh, these non-bats, they don't have functional teeth. They have these smooth, pig-like teeth that they couldn't chew with if they had to chew. But that's not a problem because they swallow these termites in one big gulp. They don't need to chew.
Right, so they're kind of short, kind of teeth, not really designed for eating things. So, of course, they mostly swallow their termites in one swallow or in one gulp. So their teeth aren't particularly sharp for chewing on meat or vegetables or things like that. So they don't really have functional teeth, which means they actually work or they serve a purpose. For example, my motorcycle is not functional. It has not been running in many years, so I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to have someone come and haul it away because my motorcycle is no longer functional. It doesn't work anymore. Now, in total, these animals here, the ones we're talking about, non-bats, They eat as many as 20,000 termites a day. 20,000 termites a day. That's a lot. I understand that insects do have some kind of nutritional value, but my goodness, I could never get myself to eat so many termites a day, let alone one. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, 20,000 termites. Imagine what that would look like on a plate. Oh, gosh, would they even fit on the plate? Maybe you'd have to have a big plate, a platter full of these termites, and there would be 20,000 of them. Oh, my goodness. I think I'm going to be sick, but hey, these nombats, they love their termites. They could eat them all day, and that's what they do. They eat 20,000 termites a day sometimes. Amazing. All right, everyone, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking about the bilby.
Perhaps the most loved marsupial in Australia is the bilby. They're softer versions of rabbits and have pointy noses. In fact, they look so much like rabbits that they've become an alternative Easter symbol for Australians. Like quokkas, bilbies are nocturnal. They're also very shy and spend most of their lives alone. They live underground in burrows and feed on seeds and insects. The pouches face backwards, so the babies don't get sand in their faces when the moms are digging in the dirt.
第二部分，我们看到形容词 pointy 指尖的，例如 The designer covers his hats with pointy geometric shapes. 设计师在帽子上附满几何尖形。接着我们看到一个单字 alternative 为形容词，指另类的或可供选择替代的。举例来说 Donna doesn't eat meat, so she has to find alternative sources of protein. Donna 不吃肉，所以她必须找到其他的蛋白质来源。而 alternative 除了可以当形容词之外，还可以当名词使用，有替代方案之意。所以我们可以说When traffic is heavy, the MRT is a good alternative to use instead of your car. 当交通繁忙时，搭乘捷运是取代开车一个很好的替代方案。最后我们看到一个名词 burrow 指地洞。例如 The fox lives in the burrow near the haystack. 狐狸住在靠近草堆的地洞中。而 burrow 除了可以当名词使用，还可以当动词，指使躲入洞穴。所以可以说A family of rabbits burrowed into the hillside. 有个兔子家族躲在山丘下的洞里。
Okay, let's do it. As promised, we're going to talk about the bilby now. That's a cute name, and these, of course, are cute animals, and perhaps the most loved marsupial in Australia is the bilby. The people in Australia down there, after they have a shrimp on the barbie and go down to Bondi Beach, they just love to go check out those bilbies. Hey, let's go get some pictures of those bilbies. So they're loved there. The most loved marsupial in Australia, maybe, perhaps, is the bilby. Now, let's describe them. They're softer versions of rabbits and have pointy noses. So if you can think of a rabbit, well, the bilbies, I guess, resemble rabbits, except these animals are softer. They're a softer version of a rabbit. Rabbits are already pretty soft. These animals are even softer, kind of a version or kind of rabbit, even though they're not rabbits, but they resemble rabbits. So that's how we're describing them, as a softer version of a rabbit.
So there you go. Here we're talking about the bilby again, and like I said before, the bilby is the most beloved marsupial in Australia, not the kangaroo. And here we know why, or we're starting to learn why these bilbies are so beloved. They're softer versions of rabbits, and they also have cute, pointy noses. How about that? How can you not love a soft rabbit? It's not actually a rabbit, but it's kind of like a soft rabbit. How can you not like that? And also that cute, pointy nose. And there's more. Get this. Not only do Australians love these animals because they're like rabbits and they have those cute noses, but they also like these animals, or they're beloved because they're an important symbol for an important holiday. Get this. In fact, they look so much like rabbits that they've become an alternative Easter symbol for Australians. So instead of having the Easter bunny or the Easter rabbit, you have the Easter bilby. How can you not love the bilby?
Yep, an alternative, just another choice here. So, yes, indeed, down in Australia, maybe they're sick and tired of rabbits, and they're sick and tired of seeing rabbits symbolize Easter, so they want to try something new, so they've decided to have these bilbies as their Easter symbol. So you have a bilby maybe sitting next to a bunch of eggs or something like that, even though bilbies are mammals and they're not going to lay eggs, but what the heck, it's Easter. And so this is an Easter symbol down there. And like quokkas, bilbies are nocturnal, which means they're mainly active at night. They're also very shy and spend most of their lives alone. So they're kind of shy. They're probably going to stay away from people. So don't expect to take a selfie with a bilby. They live underground in burrows and feed on seeds and insects. Now here, a burrow is just kind of like a bunch of tunnels underground where some kinds of animals live.
There you go. And they also burrow when they make their burrows. They actually dig into the ground and they make those burrows, these places underground where they can live. Now it also says here that these bilbies, they live underground and they feed on seeds and insects. That means this is what they eat, okay? These things are found in their diet. These things make up their diet. Anyways, next it also says the pouches face backwards so the babies don't get sand in their faces when the moms are digging in the dirt or when the moms are burrowing. And this is kind of cool. We all know that marsupials, they have pouches, but did any of you know this, that some marsupials have their pouch on their back and not on their belly? That's a pretty cool fact. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up our article on marsupials.
More than 300 marsupial species exist today, ranging in size from 5-centimeter-long marsupial mice to 2-meter-tall red kangaroos. So get out there and explore the wonderful world of these pouch-packing mammals.
All right, the final paragraph here wraps things up for today's lesson. So more than 300 marsupial species exist today, ranging in size from 5-centimeter-long marsupial mice to 2-meter-tall red kangaroos. That's quite a range in size there. And I bet you didn't know this. There are actually more than 300 species of marsupials in the world. Of course, a lot of them live in Australia, but they also live in other parts of the world. Do some research if you're into marsupials and find out how many species you can identify. And they all have different kinds. They come in different sizes and in different colors. So the smallest one is only about 5 centimeters long, which is no bigger than your finger. And I guess they look like mice. But then we've got these kangaroos that are both red and tall. So my goodness, you wouldn't want to run into a 2-meter-tall kangaroo. It might beat you to a pulp.
There you go. There are marsupials all over the world. Now, we didn't talk about any of the marsupials that are found outside of Australia, but trust us, everyone, there are marsupials all over the world, and everywhere you find marsupials, they're going to be great. So get out there and explore the wonderful world of these pouch-packing mammals. There you have it. Now, we did talk about this word mammal over the course of our lesson. Let's go ahead and talk about it one more time before we take a break. A mammal is an animal that gives birth to live young. That's important. No eggs or anything like that. And then also, mother mammals feed their young with milk. And these mothers make their own milk. And then one other thing, usually the body of mammals is going to be covered with hair or fur. That's what it means to be a mammal. Now, fun fact, whales are mammals. You would think they're fish because they live in the ocean. No way. Whales are actually mammals. All right, folks, with that, our lesson is in the books, and it's time for you guys to hear from the Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始提到 Numbats, which resemble tiny anteaters, are on the brink of going extinct. 长得像小型食蚁兽的袋食蚁兽已经濒临绝种。好 Numbat 就是袋食蚁兽，然后 anteater 是指食蚁兽。我们这边来学一下片语 On the brink of。好 ，brink 它是指悬崖峭壁的边缘，那么 on the brink of 就可以用来表达濒临什么什么，在什么什么边缘。这个用法的后面要接名词或动名词。好，其实我们也可以把 brink 换成 verge，verge 这个名词它是指边缘界限。那么 on the verge of something 字面上的意思，它是说在什么什么边上，可以用来表达濒临什么之际，某件事情快发生了。像 on the verge of tears 就是快哭了 ，on the verge of going bankrupt 表示快破产了。好，那另外要帮同学们补充一下 go 加形容词的用法。go 当连缀动词，它带有变得、变成怎么样的语义，然后后面接形容词来描述它的变化。像课文里面，它是接形容词 extinct， 表示绝种的、灭绝的，那 go extinct 就表示绝种。还有 go bankrupt 表示破产。Go bad 可以用来描述食物开始腐败、变酸要坏掉了。Go crazy 可以表达失去理智啊、发疯。Go wrong 可以表达事情出差错、发生问题等等。好，那同样在课文第一部分呢，我们看到一个句子说 Since numbats swallowed the termites in one gulp, they have smooth peg-like teeth instead of functional ones. 由于袋食蚁兽会一口吞下白蚁，那它们有着表面平滑、像钩子的牙齿，而不是具有功能性的牙齿。好 ，termite 就是白蚁。那这边有个单字 gulp 是当名词，表示一大口或是吞咽的分量。它其实也可以用来当动词，表达说快速大口的吃东西。那我们就顺便来学几个跟吃东西有关的单字。好，第一个是Feast 是盛宴筵席的那种意思嘛，就吃大餐。那这个字当动词可以表达尽情的吃。Feast on something 就表示尽情享用的某事物。好，那么第二个动词叫做 gorge 就是峡谷，太鲁阁那个 Taroko Gorge 那个字嘛。那 gorge 当动词，它有塞饱的意思。我们可以用 gorge oneself on something 来表达大量的吃某个东西啊，拼命的吃。好，第三个单字叫 devour。devour 它表达狼吞虎咽的吃，不但吃得很快，而且是像饿死鬼投胎一样这样猛吃狂吃。例如 The hungry children devoured the roasted chicken， 那些饥饿的小孩狼吞虎咽的吃着烤鸡。好，那么第四个是 munch， 它表示大口吃，用力的咀嚼，尤其是会吃到发出声音那种的那一种。那我们常常用 munch on something 来表达大口咀嚼某个东西。好，第五个单字叫 nibble，N-I-B-B-L-E， 它表示小口的吃，细嚼慢咽，就像鱼在吃饲料的时候，你就觉得那饲料明明很小一颗，它们还是要咬一下又吐出来，咬一下又吐出来，一下子吃一点点。那我们可以用 nibble on something 来表达吃东西一点一点慢慢的吃。好，那么第六个单词叫 peck，P-E-C-K， 它当动词是指小鸟啄的那个动作。小鸟吃东西也是一小口一小口的吃嘛，那我们就可以用 peck at something 来表达吃一点点，小口小口的吃东西。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Resemble. The copy closely resembled the original painting, but art experts were able to tell the two apart. Extinct. It is sometimes difficult for scientists to know for sure that a particular animal has gone extinct. Crack. After a long period without rain, cracks began to form in the dry earth. Gulp. My dog always swallows treats in one big gulp without chewing. Functional. After I dropped my phone, I checked to see if it was still functional. Alternative. Hannah pays no attention to whether other people approve of her alternative lifestyle or not. Mammal. Bats live over 3 times longer than other mammals that are of similar size.
Discussion starter starts now!
Okay, now it's time for our discussion starter. Roger, which of these marsupials do you like best?
Well, I tell you, kangaroos are my favorite because I know most about them, although you said earlier that they're kind of a nuisance in Australia, and Australians themselves don't particularly like them, but I like them, especially if they're wearing boxing gloves in Warner Brothers cartoons. I think there's one kangaroo that beats Sylvester up every time they confront each other. How about you?
I like bilbies because bilbies have that cute pointed nose, and because they look like rabbits. Strike that. They look like a better, softer form of rabbits, and how can you not love that? That just sounds super cute. Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.